your money-making chick. Believe that. With $1 million flow, come quick or slow. V, slick with the pen, I'll rip it again. I have you rap chicken sick, tricking again.
Vita Raynor, or simply Vita, born January 27, 1976. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was a rap label called Murder Inc. that had enough stars on its roster to release hits that could last decades. Led by Ja Rule and Ashanti as featured artists that made hits on their own, and especially when they came together, were a force to be reckoned with. They also had their second-tier artists that had potential, one of them being rapper Vita, famously known for her controversial role in the movie Belly, where she played a 16-year-old too young to be taken seriously by DMX's character Tommy. The movie released in 1998, and since then, Vita had big plans for herself. She was a Hype Williams artist just meeting her future label family at the time and had to fall in line behind superstars like Ashanti and Ja Rule. Understandably so, as both were either on fire already in Ja Rule's case or a guaranteed star in the making in Ashanti, which she became by early 2002 when her single Foolish dropped, followed by her 3-time platinum #1 self-titled album that released a few months later. Vita was billed as the opposite of Ashanti as the rap female counterpart to Ja Rule, small and feisty, who had lyrics delivered with a more hardcore rap approach, in it for the money over the fame and in line for success in the rap industry. What I liked most about Vita at the time was she had a very distinct voice and flow that made her appeal to the neighborhood girls with big dreams of improving their lifestyle with a by any means mindset and able to hang with the boys and be just as important. While Ashanti was taking off, releasing back-to-back platinum albums in 2002 and 2003, usually compared to Beyoncé by fans, Vita was beginning to become impatient, waiting her time in the sun. A time that sadly would never come around. I remember watching an interview with Vita back in 1999 in the famous Tunnel nightclub, where she seemed so hungry and excited to not just get into the entertainment industry, but to further her career in the rap game. She spoke like she was ready for success and willing to put in the work to achieve it. Most importantly, she seemed eager to work on her music and with artists she always looked up to. She was excited to be hooking up with Irv Gotti, Ja Rule, and Murder Inc., who were supposed to take her budding career to the next level. She began featuring on Murder Inc. songs, building anticipation for her stellar debut. None of that happened as her first single hit nothing but air, leading to her debut crossover single sampling Madonna to never see the light of day and her debut album to be shelved. She'd never released an album at all over her career, then just disappeared from the rap scene altogether. What happened? Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music. Let's get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. Vita is a rapper and actress from Plainfield, New Jersey, who has always been an avid hip-hop and rap fan, growing up in a musical household with other talent as well. Her sister Kima was a part of the famous 90s R&B group Total, which inspired her to get into the entertainment industry herself. She signed a management contract with music video director Hype Williams and later appeared in the movie Belly, featuring rappers DMX and Nas. Around the same time, she was introduced to Irv Gotti and Ja Rule and placed in the subgroup The Murderers. The group released their debut album Irv Gotti Presents The Murderers March of 2000 with Vita's song Who Dat Chick Be as a lead single. The song grew popular and the album sold 80,000 copies first week and nearly 500,000 copies to date. No pun, but after the album, everyone wanted to know who that chick be, and everything was supposed to fall right into place. Stunt number 1, no first single. Little that Vita knew, there was a very small window of opportunity for her to come in and have success the way she did, meaning being signed to Murder Inc. Records. She got with them around 99-2000, and by 2003, the label would be changed forever, which we'll get into later. After her small role in Belly and work on Irv Gotti Presents The Murderers, all Vita needed was a strong single that hit the streets, almost like her compilation album lead single Vita 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 did, which showcased the cute girl next door with a light voice and attractive figure, with street ties and a little gangster to her demeanor. That was the role she fit well into as a rapper, and in the moment it worked well for her. But as we all know, the most important song a rapper that hopes to have a future in music is that very first solo single. It literally determines the direction of a new artist's career and can mean make or break if done right or wrong. She attempted to remake Madonna's Justify My Love with a version of her rapping, and it was shut down by Madonna's label. She returned with a version of her and Ashanti singing the song exactly how Madonna made it, and that version was cleared for the soundtrack Fast and Furious, but not for Vita's album as an original song. Without a potent single to drive the album, one scheduled to originally be released in December 2001 was pushed back to fall 2002. Murder Inc., in my opinion, between them all, knew and understood how to make a hit record at the time, and if they wanted to, they certainly could have found a first single for Vita, but for whatever reason they chose not to sit down and focus on a proper rollout that included a proper first single that was made for the charts. A sloppy remake of a Madonna hit song was never going to be the answer, and not sure why anyone over there thought it would be. Her single Vita on the compilation album was a much better fit and maybe should have been her first single instead. No single, no album. When that was the case, Vita's window became that much smaller to fit through. Stunt number 2, other artists more important. Early in her career, Vita appeared in Method Man's Breakups to Makeups video, as well as on Mobb Deep's album Infamy on their song The Learning, performing on the hook. She then appeared on Ja Rule's Holla Holla remix and in his music video for 6 Feet Underground. She also appeared on The Murderers compilation album and worked with Irv Gotti on his single Down For You. Vita was putting in her work as an artist on Murder Inc. and deserved to have her album released at the time Murder Inc., specifically Ja Rule and Ashanti, had the Midas touch on hit records and were selling albums like hotcakes. But that right there was also a huge part of the problem. For the label, Ja Rule and Ashanti were on fire, but for Vita, the more attention they got and the more demand they drew in pushed her further and further into the background as an afterthought. It's hard to blame anyone in this situation because what's a label owner and head Irv Gotti to do? Ashanti's debut album went 3 times platinum and was the #1 album in the country of all genres. By 2002, Ja Rule was coming off 3 platinum albums under his belt. His previous 2 sold just under 4 million copies in the US alone and much more worldwide. With those 2 doing so well and providing magic when they work together, who as a label would even be thinking of releasing a Vita project with no strong single, no controversy, and therefore no real personality to latch onto? Instead of Vita dropping fall 2002, Ja Rule released the Last Temptation album that disappointed compared to his prior work, but still went platinum and top 10 in the US. Murder Inc. had 2 platinum albums on the board in 2002 and decided to milk Ashanti and Ja Rule as long as they could, meaning for Vita, there was no room to develop her as an artist, and she decided to leave the label altogether. Stunt number 3, not creating fire elsewhere. By 2003, Murder Inc. was finished. First, 50 Cent hit the scene and completely demolished Ja Rule in a long extended feud where musically 50 quickly became the biggest artist in the world. The energy surrounding him that year was some of the craziest I've ever seen, leading to his first album selling 9 million and going diamond worldwide. Ja Rule didn't stand a chance, and in the crossfire, Murder Inc., the label, went down with the ship. But that was rap beef. Officially, Murder Inc. were sunken by the feds, who raided the offices of the label and built a case against Irv and his brother Chris Gotti with allegations the label was created as a money laundering operation tied to Kenneth Supreme McGriff. Irv Gotti spent upwards of $10 million in legal fees, and the label had no distribution during the entire trial against the feds, which they ultimately won, but decided to lose the murder moniker. As for business, it didn't fit well, and in my opinion was one of the worst label/business names of all time. Not sure whoever thought that would be a long-lasting idea. Between fighting the feds and 50 Cent, Vita got out just in time, and there was no point of return. She moved on, but elsewhere, she just didn't do anything for the next 10 years. She returned in 2012 rapping like every other rapper at the time, and flopped with her independent mixtape Pre-Cum that did little for her career. Since then, she hasn't been heard from until her Versus performance with Ja Rule in 2021, never releasing an official studio album. All in all, Vita was a dope rapper that may have chosen the wrong label to start her career. She had opportunity, but a very small window, and wasn't able to create a spark on her own. She was supposed to be Murder Inc.'s flagship female rapper, but for these reasons, her growth was stunted. Salute, much respect. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music, and I'm out.